Hey, I was cleaning up my office today, getting ready for the end of this school year, and I came across this letter in my filing cabinet. This letter was submitted to me by from the QEQ newspaper back when it was active many years ago. In this letter, an older lady describes a ghostly encounter that she had with someone on Winding Stairs Road in Walhalla. Winding Stairs Road is in Walhalla, South Carolina, and it is a cut through from 107 to the to Winding Stairs. It is a long, steep road. I've been up that road. It is very isolated. There's a lot of hairpin turns on that road, so check it out if you want to. But this encounter is I'm going to read it just as she has written it. Hello, I am dictating this to my granddaughter because my writing is kind of shaky and not so good. I want to tell you about what I saw on the Winding Stair Road, which is a cutoff from coming down from near Cassius, where I used to live, to the DAR school in Tomasi, where I used to work in the kitchen. Actually, my daddy and family never called it Winding Stair. They always called it Breakneck Hill. When the weather is good, it saved lots of time to take this cut through. When the weather was bad, I would have been risking my life. This is a dirt road and very steep. At the top, you feel like you was looking down from riding in an airplane. Coming up of Route 107 to Winding Stairs, sometimes you are above the clouds. It was one of those days when if I had time, I would have tossed a coin. But being optimistic temperament, I selected to go down Winding Stairs. It wasn't long before I felt this queasy feeling knowing that I had made the wrong choice. I should have stayed on the main road and came to Highway 11 near the gas station that everybody calls Jake's in Salem. Jake's real name is Loco Mart. I was running late, so I chose to take the Winding Stairs Road, telling myself that it wasn't really all that foggy. It was about 6:30 on an early March morning, and I was about one-fourth of the way down Winding Stairs. There are many hairpin turns. I was talking to myself and calling myself ignorant and ninny for choosing the shortcut because this heavy fog had surrounded my little Dodge Neon. Also, my car was sliding and the road was slicky and the weather was taking a change from much colder. My car was covered up in fog and the only choice I had was to put the car in park and wait until the fog lifted. That was when I had the scare of my life. There was a loud bang on the back of my car. I was thinking, this is it, you're going to die. Another car is coming up behind me in the fog and it's going to push me into the treetops and I will catapult through the air and down the mountain. Then there was a knock at the window. I looked and it was a young man in a gray coat. He had a backpack and this is what I thought. He's a hitchhiker. Well, I was pretty scared, not expecting a soul to be around. This next part is not so clear. He told me, although it seems like the words had no sound to them, that he was going to get right in front of my car and I was to drive real slow and follow him. The visibility was very bad, but I could see this man waiting for me to start the car. I kept my foot on the brake and the gas so that I could go slow. I would say that I followed the hitchhiker with the backpack about a quarter of a mile. And then he turned around and he held his hand up for me to stop. It was then that I noticed the glint of gold buttons on the front of his jacket. I am scared of this stranger, though I knew I shouldn't have gotten out and thanked him. I didn't. Where the hitchhiker had directed me to park was one of the very few places to pull off this treacherous road. I don't know how he located the pull-off spot in the thick fog. That and where the hitchhiker went will always be a mystery to me. Let's see. Okay, just as the fog had began to let up, I heard a rumble. And then I heard a bunch of yahoos and O'Haras and even the worst cussing. Right by my little Dodge Neon, an old flatbed truck careened down winding stairs. These were male voices. Maybe they was getting home late, or maybe they was late for work, or maybe they was Clemson boys been up to one of the cashier's stills or the fancy girl house towards Brevard, a party of brothers. All I know is that they came close enough to my little Neon that I could smell alcohol and puke and hay all mixed up. They came so close, some of their black paint scraped off the door handle of my little Dodge Neon. What if? What if I had been on the road and a party of brothers had collided with me out of the clouds? What if the hitchhiker had taken 107 instead of Winding Stairs? Later that day, a child at the DAR school was asking me to help him sound out some words he was reading. One word was Confederate. On the same page was a picture of a man with the same kind of jacket as my hitchhiker. It was a gray uniform with gold buttons down the front and some gold buttons on the lapel. I am left to ponder this in my heart of hearts. Where did my hitchhiker come from? Who was he? My neighbor belongs to Sons of Confederacy. He says it was probably an SC soldier trying to get home, caught twixt sentries in the forest above Jumping Branch. That is why I'm not signing my name to what I have just told. I went to my pastor for guidance in understanding the events of this morning. He boldly chastised me for chucking with the devil. He said not to think of this incident anymore. He said for me to just keep reading the Bible and not dabble in the supernatural. Well, I did not search out for this hitchhiker who led me off the assy road. To me, this man was no devil. He was kind and probably saved my life. But that pastor has put a fear into me about what happened. Although I don't see no evil, only a blessing in what the hitchhiker had done. I don't want the pastor and my faith community to think I am dabbling in the dark arts, which I did not dabble. The nice young hitchhiker sought me out. Let me know what you think about that story.